Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this presentation of the Coliseum Basketball League on the Coliseum Sports Network. Happy Sunday. I'm Raymond Sims, here to bring you the call of today's matchup between the London Bulldogs and the Omaha Racers. Let's look at the starting lineups on your screen. The London Bulldogs, led by British basketball ambassador Luol Deng, and also featuring the shooting guard stylings of the rising star Giannis Antetokounmpo. As Omaha, hosting their season opening game, are led by the return of Paul George, who, though he has a new number in the NBA, will wear his normal 24, and Damian Lillard, who was a bereft of all-star help in Portland due to a huge free agent exodus, now has all the help he can get here in Omaha as he'll hope to work for a CBL crown. It's Vucevic and Joel Freeland tipping off, and Omaha wins the tip. We're underway from the middle of America. Paul George starts off with the ball, gets it to Lillard up top. Ball reversed around to Thompson. The long shot is good. It is a 2. His foot was on the line, and London did not waste any time to inbound the ball. Here's Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Milwaukee Buck rising star gets it over to Deng. Deng tries to attack the basket, loses the ball. Here is Omaha in transition. Lillard going the other way, draws the foul, and it will be on Bledsoe. Could have been either on Bledsoe or on Giannis, but Bledsoe is the one that the referee whistles first. So here's Damian Lillard at the line, going to have to earn his 2 points there. He's come out of seemingly nowhere after being drafted out of Weber State, and he leads Portland into a new era of playoff basketball. However, over the summer, he lost a lot of his friends that helped Portland get to where they are. Had Wesley Matthews going to Dallas, had Robin Lopez going to New York, Nicholas Batum traded to Charlotte, and LaMarcus Aldridge in San Antonio. So the Portland front office looking to pick up the pieces, and chances are Damian Lillard will be the one to lead the way. He makes both free throws. So with 11.5 here in the first, Omaha already ahead 4-0. Luol Deng on the elbow. Hands it off inside. Antetokounmpo goes up, draws the foul. Be the first there on Thompson. Giannis will go to the line here. 2013 draft pick from Greece. The positionless wonder. It's hard to come by a player that can play at least 3 positions, but at the beginning of the 2014-15 season, there was discussion that they were going to add a 4th one for him, and that is point guard. You've seen him bring up the ball a couple of times here early on. But imagine this 6'11" forward guard, whatever he might be, routinely bringing the ball up the floor and calling plays. It'll definitely be a sight to see. Makes both free throws. It's 4-2 early on, and we're just about at the opening minute mark for both of these teams. Lillard loses the ball on the spin move. Here come the Bulldogs. Hands it off on Antetokounmpo. Blocked by George. Good block there, and London will keep it. But George was waiting right there. He's not going to let Giannis do anything. Baseline inbound. It's Luol under the hoop. And just to get it out to Nikola Mirotic. Mirotic works his way in. Shot and the foul. That'll be the first on Monroe. Good contact, but still picking up the foul. Now Mirotic is at the line. Mirotic spending some years in Spain before coming over to the Chicago Bulls last year. Definitely a breath of fresh air in the fact that he's a big body at 6'10" that can also stretch the floor. He makes the and one free throw. So now London is up by 1, 5-4, 10:40 remaining in the first quarter. Ball to George, facing up against Freeland. Now here's George, caught on the baseline. Him and Vucevic trying to figure things out, and eventually George will draw the foul. So it's been a parade to the free throw line early on here. A number of these players are capable of going to the line and getting those easy baskets. First shot is up and good. No one will argue that free throws aren't important, but they aren't as free as people make them out to be sometimes. It gets pretty mental when a player steps to the line. Something that should be at least easy in theory. It messes with a lot of players' heads. Doesn't mess with Paul George on that trip to the line as he helps Omaha get the lead back, only up by 1. London running a set here. We'll find out who it's for. I don't think anything came of it. Had to give it back to Bledsoe, who has to chuck up the 3. They'll knock down the 3, and London takes a 2-point lead. I think the play falling apart was probably a result of the tight on-ball and off-ball pressure that Eugene Floyd and the Omaha Racers like to impose here on their opponents. And the London Bulldogs are the very first victims of sorts to deal with that. Klay Thompson equalizes the game at 8 with the mid-range jumper. Here's Mirotic for London. Get off the Deng. Out pops Mirotic. Long 2. No good. Rebound by Vucevic. George almost had a lane there, stopped by Bledsoe. Works it back out to Lillard. Ball down low, Vucevic going to work over Freeland, and the block by Joel Freeland. Bledsoe comes up with it, pushes it up the floor. Bulldogs can take the lead back again. Tied at 8. Mirotic pulls up outside the post, no good. One-handed board by Klay. Here comes Thompson, bringing it up the floor. Working his way inside, off the backboard and in. Thompson essentially going coast to coast. He'll bring the Racers up by 2. Has yet to miss. Pass didn't work out. The flex back to Antetokounmpo. Bledsoe loses his dribble. Gonna have to put it up here. And blocked by Lillard. Shot clock violation on Omaha. Or for Omaha, in their favor. It's on London. Pardon me there. .806 remaining in the first quarter. Omaha generating another turnover. Lillard works his way inside, doesn't like what he saw, so he works out to the perimeter. Attacking again, hands it off Thompson, who scoops it over. Vucevic up and in. .740 left in the opening quarter of play. Omaha up by 4. Bledsoe almost didn't have a handle on that. Mirotic loses his dribble. Now he's in trouble. Puts up the 3. No good. And here come the Racers again. Klay puts it up. The mid-ranger is good. Omaha on a bit of a run now. 6-point game here from CenturyLink Center. Bledsoe gets the Freeland pick, kicks it over on Antetokounmpo. Long 2. Yes, it is. Still knocks it down. That'll keep the Racers from getting too far ahead here, up by 4. Thompson pulls up, top of the key, missed. Vucevic with the offensive board, goes back up, misses again. And here's Deng coming out with the defensive board. Omaha not able to capitalize on the second chance opportunity. Mirotic catapults that one up and misses. Vucevic with the rebound. George doesn't waste any time getting down the floor. He'll pull up from the short corner and misses. London trying to find their way into the paint. Haven't had much success there yet here in the early going. Bledsoe able to lay it in from just outside the block. That'll keep London within 2, 14-12 with 5:44 left in the first quarter. .544 left here in the first quarter. Omaha, the home team, leading by 2. This is the last opening week game. 4th of 4. Glad you could join us this week. We've seen a couple of blowouts, but we saw a really good game yesterday between Mexico City and Seattle going to overtime. We'll see what category this game falls under as Lillard knocks down the tray wide open. And he takes advantage, 17-12. Bledsoe works it down to the block to Deng as they kick it back out to the perimeter. Bledsoe driving against Damian. Loses the ball, has to force it up. Blocked by Nerlens Noel, who just entered the game. And we'll call that as a foul. Here's Eric Bledsoe at the line in his 5th year, or just finishing his 5th year, out of Kentucky. Well, he began his career on the Clippers bench, and then he got the star opportunity of starting off in Phoenix last season. When he originally got there, it was kind of a logjam at the point guard position, along with Isaiah Thomas and Goran Dragic, 2 point guards in their own right that are very good. But eventually that evened itself out. Goran Dragic going to Miami, Isaiah Thomas going to Boston, and so now it's Eric Bledsoe's show to run. Able to convert both free throws. Omaha is up by 3, 4:50 left in the first. Down low to Noel. Gets past his defender, Bernard James, and is able to knock down the jumper in the paint. Here's Deng, mid-range, driving inside. Bledsoe kicks it over. Kalena Azubuike in the game. Misses. There's Omaha with it. Just outside of 4 minutes left. George works his way inside. Shoots over Deng and in. You can see by the field goal percentage comparison, Omaha is shooting very well, and London is not, to say the least. Chandler Parsons in the game, working as the London 6th man, gets it off to James, who misses. Omaha pushing the tempo here. George puts up the 3 without delay and misses. James with the rebound. 3.5 now left in the first quarter. Omaha pulling away here, 7-point lead. London trying to fight back. Azubuike finds an opening mid-range, misses. Loose ball collected by Noel. He can run the floor, but he stops at the point. Gets it to George. Works it up top, Lillard. George lost the baseline opening, pulls up anyways and misses. So here's Azubuike on the run, but the Racers have numbers. May he force the issue anyways? He will. He's there. He gets it in. Just outside the restricted area. 5-point game. London not going away early. Noel pulls up. Low block jumper is good. Made that one look easy. Pass intended for Bledsoe. Was caught up in the screen that was set for him by Bernard James, and just bad timing on the pass as it goes out of bounds. More reinforcements coming in on both sides. 2:17 left in the first quarter. Omaha ahead by 7. Strong defensive performance so far has held London to 16 with 2 minutes left. And for a while they were shooting sub 40%. Bad pass down low by Dragic. Speaking of him earlier, gets it to Noel inside. Defies gravity to get that shot in. It's now up to a 9-point game. Some double teamed. Kyle Anderson thought he had an opportunity, and Noel comes in and swats it away. Ball over to Korver. Korver used to play in this arena as a Creighton Blue Jay. Trying to get familiar with the rim and misses. Parsons fighting his way inside, back up top to Kyle Anderson. Works it over, Dante Exum. No good in the defensive board by Matthews. This is Matthews. The rebound was by Tristan Thompson. Apologies. Dragic pulls up for 3 with Chandler Parsons' hand in his face. Under a minute left here in the first quarter. Exum down low to slow-mo. Kyle Anderson off the backboard and in. It's a 10-point game. Dragic, the pick to Matthews, who rolls to the basket and misses. Can't convert. Here's Exum up the floor. Kicks it over as a Buki in the corner. Knocks down the trade. Or not a trade, is a 2-pointer. Foot on the line. Still a good shot from the corner. By the Here's Dragic. Trying to find a way inside. Hands it off to Noel, who's doing work. That's loose, and the rebound by Exum, who will heave it. And almost on target, but no good. So that's how we'll close out the first quarter. It was a good one. Omaha pulling out to an 8-point lead, but London not going away easily. We'll have more after this on the Coliseum Sports Network. Welcome back to Omaha's CenturyLink Center. Beautiful gem of an arena, been around since the early 2000s. The home team, named after the CBA team that played here for about 8 seasons. Bernard James draws the foul on Nerlens Noel. Noel's second.
Bernard James. 2 shots.
James can't convert on the first free throw. The Racers that occupied this city before didn't play here at the CenturyLink Center. It was not around when they were playing. They played in Midtown at the Exarban Coliseum next to the Exarban racetrack. Won the 1993 CBA title, but unfortunately went out of business in 1997. This team does not share the Racers' history, but does share their colors, which are very unique ones indeed. Matthews can't force up the shot. So here's London looking to start off the quarter by closing the gap. Dennis Schroeder in the game. Get the ball back, fight inside. Kicks it back out to Anderson. Here's Exum baseline. Puts it up and cannot. Thompson with the rebound ahead to Dragic. On the holding pattern here with Exum. Finds Thompson, kicks it back out. Dragic will put up 3 just fine and miss. Ball goes into the outstretched hands of Schroeder. Kicks it inside. Anderson can't lock up the shot. Rebound by Thompson. Korver hasn't utilized his outside shooting much just yet, but Dragic has. He's able to knock down the 3 to start off the court right for Omaha. Running a set here. Not much out of the offense. Omaha giving them the blues here. Parsons finds an opening top of the key. Usually good from there. James able to get the offensive board. They convert the second chance. As Korver brings it up the floor, Omaha will call timeout. They're ahead 31-22 with 9:54 left in the second quarter. Omaha coming out of the timeout, set to inbound. Tristan Thompson. We'll look for someone to get open. That was supposed to be Nikola Vucevic, it looked like, but Thompson overthrows him, and that'll be Bulldogs ball. Go from the exact same spot. Here's Bernard James. We'll give it to Dante Exum, and London will go to work. Down by 9. Second unit for the Bulldogs, looking to hold serve until the starters get back in, and that'll help as Exum knocks down the tray, or knocks down the mid-range shot. And that'll make it a 7-point game. Looking around the Vucevic screen. Dragic spin move inside, gets it to Korver. Just outside the key, able to knock it down. So another timeout, this one for London. Still down 33-24, 9:14 left in the second quarter. Anderson gets the inbound out of the timeout. Ball up top. Exum loses the ball. Here's Korver on the run, and he will lay it in. Fast break gives Omaha the double-digit lead. And it wasn't like Exum was completely bobbling the ball. He was just having a little trouble collecting it, but Korver saw the perfect opportunity to just swipe it away. So great play there by Korver. Exum puts up the 3 and knocks it down. So the extended lead is short-lived. Gap is closed back down to 8. Dragic gets the pick, kicks it over. Korver in the corner, and he'll knock down the 3. That's a specialty right there, and Creighton fans and NBA fans know what to like. The outside shooting of Kyle Korver. Here's Schroeder, top of the key, hands it off. Parsons on the elbow. Exum going to try again from outside. Almost, but not completely on target. Here's Matthews. Up the floor for Omaha. It's really been the outside shooting that's made the difference here for Omaha so far, as Dragic gets the shot and the foul. That'll be the first on Exum. But I said before, it's really the shooting that has set Omaha apart. You saw the rebounding differential wasn't that much. So able to finish off the N1 opportunity. 41-27, 7.5 here in the second. Exum tried to fight his way inside, lost control of the ball, and a racer ended up kicking it in the process. So the Bulldogs will retain possession with 15 on the shot clock. Schroeder kicks it over. Parsons, the long two, no good. Rebound by Thompson. Coach Eugene Floyd signing Tristan Thompson specifically for his rebounding prowess, so we'll probably be hearing his name a lot coming off of Bulldogs misses. Still in a bit of contract trouble is Tristan Thompson with the Cleveland Cavaliers. We'll see how that works out down the line, though. Exum double teamed here. Gets it over Schroeder for three. That one will bounce around and out of bounds. So Dante Exum playing well enough, being enough of a threat to the Racers defense that they were putting the double team on him, and it flustered him a bit. We'll see if the rookie can learn from that if the Racers choose to double team him again down the line. Here's Korver pulling up for three. Over on Antetokounmpo, who comes back in the game. And even though he's 6'11" with the long wingspan, still couldn't contain Kyle Korver's outside shooting. Head coach Stuart Gibbs for London will call timeout and try to figure out how he can. But Omaha pulling away big. They're up big here, 44-27 with 6:35 left in the second. Freeland inbounding the ball, gets it to Exum. Freeland back up top. Down low, Parsons drawing the foul. He gets that one over Wesley Matthews. That's Matthews' first. So Chandler Parsons playing the six-man role for London. It was pretty much Coach Gibbs saying that he was having a hard time trying to figure out how the power forward, small forward shooting guard situation was supposed to go, because he had Antetokounmpo, Parsons, and Deng, who have all played power forward and small forward, but have little shooting guard experience between them. As a matter of fact, Parsons has never really played as a shooting guard, and that was going to be Gibbs' first choice. So once training camp broke, Gibbs decided that maybe Giannis, who has his share of shooting guard experience despite being 6'11", could probably make for a good starter. And he's done pretty well so far, and as I say that, he almost loses the ball when he receives it at the point. He is able to collect it. 16-point game. London falling behind here, looking to fight their way back. Here's Exum. He's really been the only offense here so far in the second quarter, but he won't find it there. Ball ahead to Matthews. You can see that stat line, 2 of 7 from the field, doing what he can, but is just not converting. Dragic going inside in the corner. Korver just inside the three-point line, able to knock it down. Omaha still keeping those healthy shooting numbers going, shooting 58% from the field. Parsons kicks it over straight away. 3 for Exum is good. Only his second three-pointer. 2 of 5 from outside. Here's Dragic posting up with Exum. Kicks it over. Vucevic showing some range. Able to knock down the jumper. Makes it a 48-31 game. Exum pulls up from mid-range and knocks it down. Back to a 15-point game. Exum in double digits. Like I said, he's really been the crux of the offense here in the second quarter. But they're going to need extra help, Will London, as Vucevic slams it down off the offensive rebound. Ferociously got the board and then ferociously slams it down with the opposite hand. It's Nikola Vucevic for you. Lead back up to 17. As Omaha hits the half-century mark. Exum trying to go to work, works around Dragic. Exum shoots over Dragic, can't convert, gets his own board, goes up and draws the foul. Dragic not happy with that foul. Beating himself up over it, but it is only his first. Third team foul for Omaha, and his team is in good shape here, up by 17. Exum at the line looking to change that. The 2014 draft pick out of Australia just finished his rookie season. Stands a 6'6", but the Utah Jazz wanting to develop him into a point guard, or at least a shooting guard that can run the point, and they really need him to. And there seems to be an influx again. This seems to happen in cycles of 6'6", 6'5" guys being tasked with learning how to run an offense. So Exum had a share of growing pains in 2015 and only looking to improve with the Utah Jazz for the upcoming season. 50-35. Ball down low to an open Craig Monroe with the one-handed slam. That'll be enough to warrant a timeout here for Stuart Gibbs. Can't be happy with the performance. His team getting blown out here late in the second quarter, 52-35 with 3:21 left in the second. Back in Omaha, pushing up on halftime here as Omaha has taken the second quarter to really assert their dominance over the London Bulldogs. Giannis in the corner, knocks it down. Still a long two. And every shot counts here. If London wants to slowly make their way back, they've totally lost control of the game. It's not like the Racers have any intention of letting up. Thompson goes in off the fake. Oh, the fancy move. And he's able to get it up and in. Amazing move by Klay Thompson. Not your average 2 points as he puts Omaha up 54-37, 2.5 left in the second quarter. Bledsoe fighting his way inside. Bounce pass to Freeland, back outside, Mirotic. The high arcing shot, you gotta love his release. I'm sure Mirotic doesn't love the outcome as he misses. Here's Monroe. Outside to Dragic. Bledsoe quick to recover. Former teammates in Phoenix. Going at it against each other, but Dragic statistically doing better. Thompson, pump faking again. Thompson on consecutive possessions using sleight of hand to get inside. Powerful pump fakes out of Klay Thompson. Here's Antetokounmpo. Bledsoe inside with the block. Here comes Omaha the other way. London has numbers, though, so that may impede the fast break. Wesley Matthews trying to get the three up off the secondary break. Doesn't work out. Omaha retains possession. He thinks about shooting it from there, but figures wiser. Here's Monroe on the block. Hook shot. Off the backboard and in. Like off the backboard, off the rim, off the backboard and in. And now the Racers are starting to take control in the paint, 22-10. Outside shot, no good by Mirotic. Omaha running the floor, tried to get it ahead to Thompson, but much too crowded. And now London's trying to do the same the other way. Got the 3-on-4, so not much happening there. And the three lofts in. Shot good by Mirotic. Dragic crossovering his way up the floor. Trying to find a way and kicks it out to Thompson. Almost loses the ball, gets it back, goes up, draws contact. Shot almost goes in, but doesn't. Mirotic called for his first foul. Klay Thompson, world champion. Co-member of the Splash Brothers. Now he's playing for the Racers. Just simply getting some shots up before the season starts and maybe even hoping for another bit of hardware to go along with the NBA championship ring that he received. And it is now a 20-point game, 60-40, and the inbound pass sails past Bledsoe. Lillard pulls up for the long two, and that won't go. That'll do it for the half. So this one got away from London there in the second quarter, and now they are down by an even 20 at the half. Welcome back to the CenturyLink Center in Omaha, Nebraska, where the Omaha Racers lead comfortably here over the London Bulldogs. So these home fans are probably going to go home happy as long as the Racers can hold on. 60 points on 60% shooting from the Racers. Mirotic goes to work against Monroe and converts. I'm sure coming out of the locker room, that's something that Stuart Gibbs wanted out of his team. To just go in attacking. So we'll see if that sets the tone for the Bulldogs in the third quarter. George fights his way through traffic all the way down to the block and draws the foul. Bledsoe second. Bledsoe not happy with himself, but Paul George maybe erasing the goodwill that was that Mirotic shot to start the quarter. Paul George making his return. The slow recovery from that gruesome injury last summer with the U.S. Olympic team. Was able to come back for the final 6 games of the season for the Pacers, get some reps in, some game time. Now we'll see what he'll bring in 2015-16 to the Indiana Pacers if he'll return to that all-star caliber player that he was before that setback. Able to put the lead back up at 20. Antetokounmpo loses the ball. Here comes Omaha the other way. pass way ahead to George. Ball to Monroe. He's double teamed, works it out to George. Need one more pass, or George might take it on his own. Hands it off to Vucevic down low. Able to convert. So there was that one more pass as Omaha extends the lead to 22. Mirotic almost didn't get to that pass in time. A nice facing up from the elbow. Shoots over two 6'10 plus players and almost made it. He himself being a tall man. Lillard has some space from the elbow. Showing Mirotic how it was done. Mirotic shot in traffic there while Lillard was able to step back and create his own space. 7 points for Damian Lillard. And in goes Bledsoe, who draws the foul. Vucevic is first. First shot's up and good for Eric Bledsoe. Considering that blue and red is a common color combination in sports, you might not have noticed that the colors that London are wearing is that of the colors you can find on the British flag, the flag for the United Kingdom, which itself is its own brand of red, white, and blue. In the case of the Bulldogs, they decide to go with navy as their predominant color. Freeland, who himself is from England, comes up with the ball. Bledsoe works it over on Antetokounmpo in the corner. That's another long two. Probably an inefficient shot that your average advanced statistic fan will not be a fan of, but Antetokounmpo has been really good at them so far today. Bledsoe up top, looking for something to develop here. And just a mess of spacing. Gonna have to work out of it. Here's Deng, puts up the shot, top of the key, and misses, and the rebound into the hands of Vucevic. Lillard, a couple of fancy moves, decides to just put it up and misses. George straightaway three, that doesn't go either. And Mirotic up the floor, he'll pull up for himself. And that's no good. George works it over. Lillard, just an open sky blue lane for Damian Lillard, and he gets in with no problem. Racers blowing out the Bulldogs, both in overall points and in the paint, with 8:11 left in the third. Mellings Noel back into the game for Vucevic. Bledsoe fighting inside. And he's stuck on the baseline, kicks it out. Mirotic. Puts up the shot and sinks it. So the Bulldogs have been hanging around, keeping this margin at 20. So I'm sure they would like to cut it down to much, much less. George works past Deng and finishes off with a floater. Two-point game here from Omaha, just north of downtown. And can't work his way inside. Mirotic will just try to fling it from the outside, and he has not done well for himself out there. Here's Monroe. Softly hands it to Noel, and he'll work right past Deng. Oh, great first step by Nerlens Noel, and he's able to take it to the house. I figured that he was just standing there to do the same thing Monroe was, as Monroe was kind of confused as to his next move, but Nerlens was just trying to get that advantage in terms of psyche against Deng, and he was able to freeze him out and get that first step on him. And Omaha will have the opportunity to extend the lead again. This time it's Klay Thompson going to work against Antetokounmpo. This has not been much of a deterrent from Klay producing today, as Thompson has 14 points. George able to knock down the right wing three. And Omaha starting to tack on to the run that they were already on, essentially, in the course of this blowout. Freeland did what he could and draws the foul on Monroe. Second foul on Greg. Greg will be playing for Milwaukee, signing a free agent deal there over this summer. Joe Freeland, on the other hand, will not be in the NBA. He spent the past couple of seasons with the Portland Trail Blazers, and now he's decided to sign with a team overseas. He'll be heading back to Europe, his home continent. But in the meantime, he's looking to represent his home country in a North American-based professional league for at least one more time. And Freeland able to convert. 26-point game. Omaha went on a bit of a spurt, considering that the margin was rubber banding around 20 already. We'll see if this is Omaha breaking out again, or if London can put the brakes on it. Can't put the brakes on Lillard. He drives inside, gets the shot and the foul, and that's Bledsoe's third. This hasn't been much of an answer for the Racers offense in general, but Damian Lillard taking it to the house on that one. And now he's able to put on one more, and he will. 29-point lead here for the Omaha Racers. And now one can only wonder how much larger this can go, or if the Bulldogs can get that comeback going from that far down. Won't on that shot as Parson misses on the block. George steps through Azubuike and converts. Mirotic inside. He'll shoot from the free throw line, but it'll count for two. Back within the under 30 threshold. George posting up. Here's Azubuike over to Deng on the block. Hands it off. Bledsoe gets up there for the jam. 33-inch vertical. Amazing out of Eric Bledsoe. So a bit of a flourish on the backdoor cut. And that'll cut the lead back down to 27. Omaha has been down by as much as 31. There was almost a loose ball hanging out on the back of Luol Deng. And instead, it just turns into another trip to the line for the Racers and the second personal foul on Mirotic.
2 shots.
In the midst of all that chaos, if a Bulldog had quicker hands, that ball would have went the other way. George had it, lost control of it, landed on the back of Deng, and it was hanging out there for about a split second before George was able to recover it. Noel can't knock down the first free throw. Noel, the backup center here behind Nikola Vucevic. Should be used to it, considering the forest of centers that the Philadelphia 76ers have picked up in the draft. They have Joel Embiid, who is set to miss this season again, Noel, and then Jahlil Okafor, who they just drafted this season. With the injury of Embiid, as unfortunate as it is, at least that may open up some opportunities for Noel that he would not have otherwise had going in. Lillard knocking down the tray, back up to a 30-point game for Omaha, as the points just keep coming. There's Azubuike driving against London here, driving against Klay Thompson. Hands it off, Mirotic inside, goes up and draws a foul for himself. And Mirotic and Noel have just been drawing fouls against each other. It just shows how aggressive both guys are and how unwilling they are to back down. So here's Mirotic at the line. That's the first free throw, so brings it back under 30. He had a great reunion with his fellow countryman from Montenegro, who's coming into the game here, Nikola Vucevic. Had a great talk. There was a lot of laughs, a lot of smiles. Not so much on the court now. Both very competitive, but I'm sure that they'll be back to close friends after this game. Maybe not shortly after, considering that Nikola might end up with some big-time bragging rights here. At least in this first meeting, Omaha and London both in the same conference. In this 10-game schedule, they will face off twice, the rematch at O2 Arena later on this season. George goes up, misses, and Tristan Thompson getting on the board here and able to draw Mirotic's third.
Tristan Thompson. Shooting one.
So Tristan Thompson getting 3 points here in the midst of the chaos that has been the Omaha Racers scoring barrage. .2:15 left here in the third quarter. London doing what they can to make the best of a bad situation. Lost complete control of the game back in the second quarter. Now just trying to pick up the pieces here in the third. Went to the half with a 20-point lead, and now that has notched its way up to around 30. Now at 32, almost 34. And Bledsoe loses the ball. Here comes George the other way, and he'll finish with the layup but miss. So here's London trying again. Azubuike finds his way under the rim and lays it in. Back down to 30. And George able to pull up and knock down the jumper. Just a minute out here from the end of the third quarter, and Omaha already pushing 90. James pulls down the board. Works around the horn. Azubuike for three. Nope, long two. London's been playing with fire today, specifically them. They've been shooting a lot on the line instead of at the three-point line. It's been pretty bizarre, but the refs have been eagle-eyed all evening, and they've been able to separate the twos from the threes. George knocks down the jumper, and that will make it 90-58. 17 points here for Paul George, looking good in only his 7th professional game back from that injury. James pulls down the board, kicks it out to Azubuike. Back down low, Bernard James on the block, but he was hanging around there too long for the referee's liking. It's an offensive 3-second violation. 32-point game here as we close out the third quarter. Lillard ends up out of bounds. Good defense there by Dennis Schroeder. So London will close out the quarter. One more shot. See if they can evenly cut down the lead or maybe get under 30 with a three-pointer. Nope, Schroeder going all the way inside. Puts it up, blocked by Lillard, and that'll do it for the third quarter. So it was a 20-point deficit at the half. That now balloons to 32. We'll see if it'll get any bigger after a quick quarter break. 90-58 after 3. .point game. Still one more quarter to go. There is no mercy rule in professional basketball. Just got to play it out. So here come the Racers, bringing it up the floor. Starters still in, at least for one more go-around. Well, almost all of them. Doug McDermott is now in the game, along with Kyle Korver. Got Brandon Wright in. So not all the starters. Got the two bench warmers. And missed by Lillard. And that's how we'll start off the quarter. So now all 12 Racers have played. And Lillard comes up with the defensive rebound, pushing it up the floor. Korver kicks it over. Doug McDermott, himself a Creighton alum, was just here pretty much a year ago, or 2 years ago. Over the back foul called on Bernard James. He just has not gotten a break here in the second half. Was just called for a 3-second at the end of the third quarter. Head coach Eugene Floyd for Omaha absolutely ecstatic to have Doug McDermott on the roster. Lillard goes inside, draws the foul. It's a 34-point game. So Lillard not done yet. Eugene Floyd trying to draw the difference between, bringing out your bench players to close out a game and making sure that the other team doesn't come back no matter how much you're up by. It's now a 35-point game. So Eugene Floyd really wanting Doug McDermott on the roster, also wanting Kyle Korver. Both of those players, strong outside shooters, and also Creighton alum. So definitely a draw to the gate, as well as fitting perfectly into Eugene Floyd's system, which, as you've evidenced here today, is let the guards and wings put up the shots. Let the big men eat down in the post and rebound and clean up the messes. And when you're in transition, play tight defense. Omaha has stifled this London offense. And, of course, a lot of fast breaks, which at least with that concession, the Bulldogs have been able to keep up. And fast breaks have thwarted a lot of them. They've been able to get up the floor quickly. Monroe under the basket, lays it up and in. Exum to Darrington Hobson. Gets it back and misses. Here's McDermott up the floor, pushes it ahead. Brandon Wright, very athletic center. Can't convert the shot. He's a bit of a journeyman this year. Schroeder works it around. Hobson gets it back to Schroeder. Here's Anderson, probably gonna have to put up a long shot here. Ooh, spin move and blocked. Shot clock violation. And that's the caveat there about Brandon Wright, even though he doesn't get regular minutes, or wasn't scheduled to get regular minutes. It's the first game of the season, and he's getting some pretty regular minutes now. Is the fact that he is athletic enough to chase out a stretch four out onto the perimeter. He's not slow at all. He can also throw it down a bit, so he can cause a little bit of excitement. For instance, here he is getting a step on Kyle Anderson and laying down the very athletic layup. Racers routinely outscoring London in the paint. I'm sure that can be credited to Omaha not allowing them in the paint a whole lot. Darrington Hobson getting his first points of the season. 99-61. With 8.5 left here in regulation. Lillard working his way past Schroeder. Hands it off underneath. One-handed simple slam by Nerlens Noel. It is now up to a 40-point game. The Racers have not let up. Lillard has not sat down. And up and drawing the foul, Kyle Anderson. I was talking earlier about the amorphous positioning of Giannis Antetokounmpo. Kyle Anderson is another result of that out of UCLA. Just finishing up his rookie season with the San Antonio Spurs and their Austin D-League affiliate, where he's a big guy who's listed as a 4, but he pretty much plays the point guard, shooting guard, small forward position. He can play a lot of positions there. And if you really want to run small ball, I guess you could say he can play the 5. He's still very raw as a talent, though, so he'll still have a lot of developing to do, but right now he can do a lot already. Now Korver trying to push it up the floor, but can't control the runaway train, and he goes out of bounds. 7:19 left in the fourth quarter. And at this point, it's just a matter of making the box score look as good as possible. Schroeder operating the offense up top. Exum goes to work, gets past Wright and can't finish. Here's Lillard. He's able to get under the hoop but can't finish. That looked like a pass intended for Noel. Exum on the other end, able to throw it down. Never quite made it all the way down the floor. .103.66. And the foul drawn. That'll be Bernard James' second.
At the line for 2.
And the first shot no good. Now right now that doesn't, make much of a difference that he's missing at this point, but I'm sure Eugene Floyd is going to stress the importance of hitting your free throws as the season goes on. Misses the second one as well, so 0 for 2. That would have been trouble in a closer game, but alas, it's 103-66 with 6:18 left in the fourth. Long shot put up by Schroeder is good. It's only a 2-pointer. They have loved these long twos. Next up for Omaha is Lillard's able to rise in for another layup, 105-68, and you just see the total shellacking in the paint. There's not much post defense there for London, though that was expected coming into the year. Next up for Omaha, they will be hosting Kansas City on September the 3rd. That'll be the first game of week 2, as Azubuike converts. For London, on the other hand, they'll be hosting Lehigh Valley next Sunday at the O2 Arena in London. Illegal screen committed by Nerlens Noel.
Klay Thompson.
Schroeder gets the handoff, and London just trying to close out a game that was over a long time ago. Anderson tries to post up. That was swatted away by Thompson. Has to work it back out to the perimeter. Here's Azubuike, 2-pointer, no good. Ripped down by Thompson. And the easy floater by Damian Lillard, 107-70. Just how much further can the Racers go? Nerlens Noel with the rebound. Eugene Floyd said this is a team that does not let up. And though this is what he wanted, I'm sure this is not what he expected for the first game. I'm sure he expected a lot of strong production out of his team, but not to the extent. Nerlens Noel fouls out. Gotta admit, kind of embarrassing to foul out in a blowout. That'll shift Brandon right up into the center position. Schroeder in the corner again. And there's a 3-pointer, 107-73. 4-minute mark here in the fourth. And there's a 3-pointer, gets the crowd excited. Doug McDermott scoring in his old stomping grounds of the CenturyLink Center. Just played here 2 seasons ago for Creighton. Let's get the ball inside, deflected, stolen by Omaha. Pass down low, Matthews under the basket, misses, gets his own shot, misses, and Wright is right there for the putback slam. There's that third chance opportunity. Brandon Wright hopping down on it. 112-73. Azubuike misses from outside. Dragic in the corner. The long two is good. 114-73. So back up to a 41-point game. Hexum kicks it out in the corner. Azubuike for 3. So puts it back under 40. McDermott, another 3 to latch on. So now it's right back to a 41-point game. See if London has anything else to say about that. Exum. This is on the one-hit opportunity. 33% from the field for Dante Exum. McDermott does it again and misses. Almost ended up with 9 points here in the late going. Exum with the floater. Misses. His percentage gets even worse. 5 of 16 from the field. Here's Brandon Wright going to work on the post. Gets past James. Lays it off the backboard and in. Brandon Wright has seen his shares of opportunity inside. Stuart Gibbs and London understanding that they'll need to get back to the drawing board when they host Lehigh Valley next week, this time next week. While Omaha and head coach Eugene Floyd getting a very, very good look at what his team has to offer moving forward. 61% from the field. It's just a downright amazing percentage in what has been a dominant performance. See if Thompson can tack on another one. He does. 121 points. Exum finds a way in, lays it up and in. It's still a 41-point game, 30 seconds and counting. Next change of possession should kill the shot clock. Thompson down low, tries to get it to right, deflected, and London will see if they can at least get under 40 here with the final possession of the game. Exum gets past right, goes inside, draws the foul on Thompson, and can't get the two, so he'll have to earn his two at the line. A lot to talk about on both sides as they head back to the locker room and as they go through the week. Omaha not letting up in this matchup, but the question will be if they can sustain that for 9 more games and then presumably they make it to the playoffs, if they can continue for that run. London, on the other hand, pretty much back to the drawing board. A number of weaknesses exposed. Exum knocks down the free throw, so it's now a 40-point game, and that is probably where that will end. And it does. What a game, only for the amount of dominance we saw out of the Omaha Racers. I guess they decided to save the best for last, 121-81. So that'll do it for week 1 of play. We thank you for joining us here on the Coliseum Sports Network. Join us next week for more CBL action. And as always, have a good one.